What is like, Debbie? What's like your goals? Where do you see yourself in this business a year from now? I know you're just getting it's like sink or swim 6 months ago and you're catching your bearings, but you already have some clients like this that are willing to pay a percent. Do you have other clients that are willing to pay a percentage?
Yeah,
Like how many other clients?
probably about five or six.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just a matter of making sure the sites rank and getting the GBPs going. And I know I've got areas of weakness that I need to address myself, but it's hard to say because I know I want to be where I was 4 years ago. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't ever want to become that hands off the wheel kind of thing again. I know that this time around, I really need to keep my head in the game more and stay on top of things and not take my foot off the gas. And there's nothing wrong with growth. Like you were talking about, there comes a point where there's just no sense in having so much money. I spent a lot of time doing volunteer work, working within the addiction recovery community, and just doing a lot of different things like that, and really spent a lot of time with my family and my kids. And that's where I do want to be again, but maybe leverage things and put a whole lot more money into those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before I put some money into it, but mostly it was my time that I put into those things that mean a lot to me. So yeah, I definitely want to we're doing okay now, but I don't see any reason not to go after 50 grand a month because I would love to just give it away. And that's how I am about things.
With those clients, because what's nice about this business is we're building something tangible, which are these relationships with these business owners. And you want to go above and beyond when you find a good business owner. If you tell them about, hey, we need to set up an automation, so I see all the invoices and they're all down for it, those are the businesses that we want to find and pour into. We get into this business for time freedom, right? So we can do what we're passionate about, like you just mentioned, helping people with recovery and all that kind of stuff, right? And so, in order to create that time freedom, in my opinion, now that I've gotten back into this business multiple times, I think it's in the beginning, it's fine to chase smaller ticket clients. If you're in a position, that you want to quit your job as quickly as possible, that's your first mission. However, once you've done that, then I'm really now starting to become a big fan of finding those awesome business owners, pouring into them, and really mastering the skill of optimizing GMB, all the different new things that we're teaching as of late, and then really optimizing all the digital assets all around them so that they can succeed to a higher level where we're making more money per client so that we are making more money with less clients. I think that's where I'm trying to get you guys to, is that when you have a bunch of $500 a month clients, you begin to run into scalability issues when you got 30 of these clients only paying you $500 a month. This is why I'm going to name drop here, but who cares? A former student of ours that kind of started his own thing, Nick Wood, he's still teaching this thing of getting $300, $500 a month clients. And he's acting like he got those clients and he's at $1 million a month or whatever. Like unverified numbers, I don't believe that's possible.
That's a lot of work.
Exactly. A lot of huge clients that you're managing.
That's chasing a lot of really small dollars.
Again, it's okay in the beginning because these sites are easy to rank, but I just don't see with what I know about SEO that you guys would have issues ranking anywhere. Now, you mentioned that you had some hard time getting GMB. Like, what are some of the issues that you're having with GMB?
Oh, Debbie hasn't done it. That's the issue. I'm just going to be honest. There's no sense in lying about it. Aaron's over there laughing at me. But yeah, I've got to just do that. I need to get more citations done on some of the sites because that's one thing that I know will lay the groundwork for the possibility of getting one without a video verification. I'm terrible. I've even bought the stuff to do it.
Yeah, I feel you. I've partnered with Jarrett on some of my sites, so I understand. And through him doing it and watching him do it, I'm going to learn more about it. I'm going to be able to tell you guys some of the tips and tricks that we're doing with GMBs as well. But it is an important aspect of this whole thing. Don't shy away from it. Anybody that's listening, just do it, get it done. I recently found like how to ban your GMB, and there's ways to do it. There's ways to get the DBA and do it. That's a pretty solid way to get a DBA in a state licensed page on the .gov site. You just have to get a DBA, and those are like $100, couple $100. That's it. And you have now a link with your business name, phone number, address on a government.gov site. If you send that to Google, apparently that always has worked. for Jared and some of these other guys that I'm listening to. So don't be scared. I know you see sometimes that, hey, I got suspended, and I think that kind of deters some of you guys. But have you guys done the DBA stuff, like treating it as real business that you own? Because Google has to block spammers, but Google still has to make the platform useful to actual business owners, right? So again, at the end of the day, if you have a DBA, and all these Google people are like from India or overseas or whatever, I mean that is as if you are an official business owner at that point. Okay. So I wouldn't be scared, even if it got suspended. I think if you get the DBA for a couple $100, I think you get that thing verified. Worst case scenario is what I'm saying. Now,
Yeah.
you still want to go through the general practices of GBA, which is try to make sure you do the citations first. Make sure you have all the major social media pages done, LinkedIn, Facebook, all those ones. YouTube, Pinterest with name, address, phone number. And then make sure too that the business name matches inside Snaps. Make sure you have local schema activated in Snaps. Make sure that in Snaps, like the hours are the same as the GBP hours. You want to reflect as much of it as possible. And also in Snaps, you can connect all your social media profiles inside the business. And that's nice because that puts all those social media pages in the schema of the site, right? Make sure that stuff is all aligned, and then you go submit the GMB. Let's go into the comments here. Any question from anybody? One thing Debbie has done great is like just your consistency, right? And hopping on these lives on a weekly basis. Talk to us a little bit about that, like how that's been valuable for you in this comeback.
A lot of the stuff I know, like from so long ago, and you just forget about things. And it's like some of the dumbest things, like how do you not know that kind of moments? But I also recognize where I'm at and I'm having to start over. So I'm giving myself some grace there. But it never fails. I always learn something that I've never heard before or that I didn't have a firm understanding about. Every single week, I've got a notebook. If anybody needs to know anything that's been alive for the last year, I promise you I have it recorded by the date, who did it, and I took notes the whole time because I try to execute everything that is on the live every week. And then because there's always something new. Always. So there's no reason for me not to continue to move forward, to set myself up for success. A lot of it does take time. But even on weeks where they went over things that I do know, it helps me to reinforce that information and to keep saying to myself, see, you can do this. Sometimes it's a struggle. And I think it's just because the last year has just been bizarro. But I always learn something new all the time. Google changes almost all the time. So I think it's really important. You have really great insights about this is what I think they're up to, and we're going to find a way to work around and carry on and make things happen still, regardless of what Google's doing. And it's always good to learn that and gain those insights and to gain inspiration from the other people like in the JK family. And I appreciate that you guys are here.
Yeah, I think it's well known in the literature and various self-development books. There's so much that you learn through like reinforcement of like just going over the same material, but it's said in a different way, or just having reminders. It just strengthens the neural pathways like in your brain. And that's how you become a master, right? What did Bruce Lee say? Like he said, don't fear the man that like practices like whatever, like all these different kicks or punch. I fear the man that practices the one kick 1,000 times. And so I think with anything, you look at any athlete, they do the fundamentals over and over again until it becomes second nature. And ultimately, I believe in our free market capitalistic society, we are paid exactly what we're worth to the marketplace. And so that means that we have to master certain skill sets, and we have to, through learning those skill sets and reinforcing those skill sets, changing as a person, like our brains changing. We're able to see opportunities where once we were not able to see. We were able to spot certain issues with sites or GMB that we once didn't see and that we were careless about. It also over time teaches you to be more prudent with things, more conscientious of things, where we're not making the same mistakes we were making before. And that cannot happen overnight or even just going through the training one time. That has to happen through literally, in my opinion, your brain changing over time. That is why it is important to surround yourself with people that are doing the same craft as you or have maybe a few years in the future mastered the craft. Over the years, I've been to different masterminds, different SEO masterminds. I've hung out with Dan a lot. I went to Ty Lopez mastermind, saw a bunch of high level entrepreneurs there. It was clear to me that this is all they thought about all the time. Like you can just tell, like just hanging out with them, having dinner with them, that's all they wanted to talk about. And sometimes you talk about different things, but when you start talking about whether that's funnels or ads, it's an ad guy or SEO guy, you can just tell their eyes light up. So you can just tell this is what they get off on, and this is what they really focus their energy into. And at times we lose that motivation.